You have arrived in the basement.
Have I ever told you how much I love bass guitar? Now, I'm a guitar player, but I've been grinding it out on the bass for quite a few years now. I do what I need to do in the studio to get it done, and I love writing on bass guitar. But I am a guitar player, and that's where I spend all my money, so I really don't have much of a bass rig at all. A couple of basses, and that's about it. So I'm always recording direct, which is why I'm really excited to check out Bassment from United Plugins. This is the Muramasa team. This is an all-in-one plugin. It's pretty much Electrum for bass. You got all the tools. You got amp sims, cab sims, a whole series of Stomp Boxes, input tools, EQ, everything you need to shape a great bass tone. So I played around with it. I recorded the bass direct into my interface and processed all of the samples with the plugin. So I'm going to walk you through some of the features of the plugin. There's a lot there, but I'm going to show you some of the features that I really enjoyed using, and I'm going to give you some samples. So let's jump in and check out Bassment. It all starts with the input section. Now there's a number of standard features here like input, output. You've got a limiter, but one thing that's really cool about this section is the input analyzer. All you got to do is give it some signal, just strum your bass through it. It's going to set the plugin to an optimal input setting, and then you can start building some great bass tones. At the core of the plugin is the amp sim. Now it seems pretty simple on the surface, but there's quite a bit of tweakability here. The amp section gives you a gain control and a dry-wet mix as well as a master 5-band EQ. But you have some great tweakability individually in the bass, mids, and treble. You have a compression setting just for the bottom end, as well as a low pass, aggression, and presence setting to get your bottom end just right. The mids and treble settings give you specific controls to really tailor the sounds to your taste. I like how you can set the drive separately and have the ability to customize the nuances of each band. And the parallel section lets you add some parallel saturation that you can blend into your tone for added muscle thickness and aggression. Feeding off of the amp sim, you have a highly customizable cab sim section. The cabinet section gives you 15 different cab sims as well as numerous character profiles and customizations to really make these tones your own. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, perhaps I can borrow your fingers for a second just to click that like button, maybe hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It really helps this channel and I really appreciate it. All right, let's get back to Bassment. What's a signal chain without some pedals? Well, Bassment provides a whole series of pedal simulations, different effects to help you shape and customize your bass tones. Got noise? You have a handy gate with similar settings to a compressor to effectively knock out any annoying noise. The sub pedal gives you control of those ultra low frequencies to really add some oomph to your bottom end. The leveler is a handy effect that transparently balances your signal by smoothing out your mistakes and volume drops while evening out the dynamics of the whole part. The compressor offers 3 different types of compressors as well as 3 different combinations of compressors. From smooth and transparent to vintage with high coloration, it's all here. The auto-wah is a fun effect to throw into the mix on occasion. Perhaps not something you'll use all of the time, but certainly fun when you do. modulation pedal offers 5 different types of modulation. You can use one or any combination of modulation effects at the same time, but you have one setting section that applies to all effects at once. And if there wasn't enough tone shaping tools already, you've got a master EQ section just to bring it all together. The EQ offers 6 bands plus separate high and low pass filters and a depth knob, which is essentially a blend setting. Certainly not to be overlooked is the routing section. With Bassment, you can actually move the order of the pedals around. Let's face it, we've all got different philosophies of what should go first and what should go last. You're not locked in here. You can set it up in the order that you want. Now, on top of all that, there's some less obvious features, but some things that really add additional value to this plugin. If looks are important to you, you have control over the GUI by setting it to 3D or 2D. Have a favorite tone you're trying to emulate? The EQ matching tool can analyze the signal and attempt to recreate it for you. There's a handy built-in tuner, and the plugin can detect when there's no signal running through it. It automatically sets it to silence to save CPU processing for other tasks when the plugin is not needed. Now, I have to say, there's a lot of features in this plugin. It's pretty simple to use, but very quickly I was able to pull out all sorts of different tones. I just love the different layers of saturation and EQ. There's really no shortage of features here that are going to help you shape all sorts of different bass tones. You know, there's not just one here. Some plugins are really good at doing one thing. You've got a lot of variety in here, and I think there's a lot of value in this plugin, and definitely worth getting your hands on to see if it's something that works for you. Well, there you have Bassment. Would love to know your thoughts on that. Hopefully this video gave you some information, and definitely you can try it for yourself. United Plugins offers free trials on all of their plugins, so I'll put a link in the description so you can check that out. If you really want to support this channel, of course, like, subscribe, and ring that bell. I'm on Patreon if you want to do a deeper dive with me, and I have affiliate links. All of that information is in the description. Every little bit helps. But the most important thing is to check out another video, and I've got one waiting for you right here. And remember, you don't need a band to rock and roll, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video.